control your mind. The FBI has videos on YouTube saying don't watch TV, you know, and it's for these reasons. It's mind control. They can control your mind. This 5G was around a long time ago. One of my customers was Carol Rosen, who was the secretary of Werner von Braun, and she told me that she was just, you know, she was a cute, you know, school teacher, and he liked her legs, you know, and she really didn't know about, you know, all these things. And he said that he would answer questions. He wanted a pretty girl out in front, you know, and she learned a lot. She's an amazing woman.
Tonight in the studio, I will introduce you to speaker, healer, and internet sensation Eric Dadmehr. He's educated in the fine art of conspiracy and the fine arts. He is fluent in so many conspiracies that even he admits it's hard to stay focused on one when they all are related and they seem so interesting. And besides that, he's a super nice guy and we have a fun conversation. That and more coming right up on My Alien Life. My Alien Life is recorded live from atop the Northern Rocky Mountains and is available on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and everywhere fine podcasts are found. My website is at www.myalienlifepodcast.com. There you will find my email address, all previously recorded shows, and more. I am Cameron Brower. This is My Alien Life, and the podcast starts right now.
My Alien Life Podcast.
Three, two, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Tonight in the studio, I have a man who thought he would never do social media because the system was wrought with spyware aiming to control people. Instead of giving up to the system, Eric Dadmehr educated himself in a multidisciplinary approach and has become an expert in many things, including alternative healing and techniques. And tonight, Eric and I are going to talk about 5G technology and what it means beyond the application of the communication. And we undoubtedly will take some sidetracks along the way. Eric Dadmehr, thank you so much for joining me and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Cameron. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Eric, tonight we're going to touch on many things that our society has taken for granted. I've seen you talk about all the toxins in our body, but in reality, didn't they come from our environment, and how did they get there?
The water that we shower in this morning, there's 150 different drugs in there that they're not filtering out. And we're so clueless to this. It's really a transhuman agenda because all these things change our DNA. The GMO foods, the chemtrails they spray in the air, the microwave technology, this 5G, it changes your DNA. So we have to wake up and realize this and start taking protection, doing protective things like eating chlorophyll and spirulina and moringa to detox the radiation, to correct the DNA, to give you life force energy. And you remove the heavy metals, and we get the aluminum it's a nano aluminum that not everybody can get. It's nobody can get. Only special places that it is really alien. This nano aluminum, you inhale it. They use it in the atmosphere to create a shield to bounce the waves off of, so they can read their radar and sonar, and also it heats up with the microwave. It heats up so it gets rid of the moisture in the clouds, so it doesn't rain. and so they control the weather, and this also in
Who's
5G.
they? Who controls the weather?
Yeah, who exactly? Who are they? That's my question.
That's what I
who
wanna
are
know.
they that control? That's what I want to know. Well, I don't know if we're ready to hear the answer. I mean, I can tell you that it's the Phoenicians, but we're not ready for that answer. We have to do work to get that answer. You know, we have to work backwards. I'm working backwards, and you know, but I can tell you right now, we have maritime law because of the Phoenicians, and it's the Phoenicians that killed the Tartarians, and that's who we're dealing with. They're these reptilians, and they're Draco, Alpha Draconis, and they have the royal ones are the ones with the wings, and they're the tall ones. But there used to be like 27 different kind of reptilians. Now there's 4 different. You know, there's some grays, and you know, there's these archons that don't have spirit, that is artificial intelligence. That, you know, in Iran they said don't, you know, they call them the jinn. You know, don't play with your bow and arrow out at night. You're gonna blind the jinn. You know, they're gonna get you. You know, and see, they live off our life force, and they manipulate us, and we don't realize it. And sometimes it's not our thoughts that, and it's not. Sometimes it's not.
Let me jump in here for a second. I was going to say
Sure.
that too. You said we're not ready to know that it's the Phoenicians. So on multiple levels, there's so many things out there that are going on that we don't fully understand or we don't fully know about. So are we ready for disclosure on really any of these things, including alien life forms and UFOs and whatever?
You know, it is that this is the time that the secrets are to be revealed. Okay, shaman are coming out of their caves and down the mountain, down the tree, and they're going to the villages, and they're sharing the secrets. It's time to share the secrets with the people, because they're being given an opportunity to make a shift. And if people think I'm clowning around or joking, I put my life on the line sharing this for nothing. And I go and speak. They don't pay me when I speak. I want to share this information and inspire people. Flat Earth is a major topic because I was not scared to be a fool. I was the class clown. I wasn't afraid to ask or say that, wow, I really looked into it and it really is. But it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a psyop to divide us, you know, because in a hologram, it could be anything. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, but it is flat. And magnetically, it's been proven. And there's many proofs you can do, you know, because it's supposed to curve every mile 8 inches, but it doesn't. And you can do your tests yourself with lasers out in the desert or wherever and see yourself, because there's no curve. It's supposed to curve somewhere. And water is flat. It's sea level. And it's a horizon, not a curve-izon. And it's a planet, like a plane.
When you mentioned the Phoenicians, describe the Phoenicians. Are you talking about Phoenicians from like 332 BC? They from Tyre, and they were a Semitic tribe, right?
Well, they say, but you know, and they came through. But you know, I've learned this through Flat Earth British, Martin Liedtke. He's the one who really figured it out, but it makes so much sense. It really clicks, everything he's done. And if you listen to his videos, you can see the photographic evidence in the stratification, the layers, and you see the evidence and you see the symbols, and he really breaks it down. It's like going to my art history classes. It's like, you know, you see all the different art slides and then we talk about it, but it's much better. It's the best. I can't get enough of him. I love this guy. I'm going to work with him. I'm going to pull him in my shows, my shows from now on. You know, when people are being attacked, and I know when I'm being censored, that I'm on the right, you know, because I'm a pioneer speaker about these things. I was talking about Flat Earth 5-6 years ago, and online, but I was talking about it many years ago, and I was talking about Mandela Effect too. Mandela Effect is very interesting. Do you know about the Mandela Effect?
I do. What do you find interesting about that? I mean, everything's interesting about it, but what do you like about it?
Well, because it teaches us about timelines.
Right.
And that we are in a computer program, and it is a holodeck, and there are many different programs and different and see the different things that happen are signs to let them know what timeline it is. You know, a good example is the Iranians were so, they're master craftsmen, artisans for thousands of years. So when they counterfeited the $100 bill, they made it too perfect. And it's really funny because, when I grew up in the bazaar, they would always hammer a nail crooked or the latch crooked or crack something and then fix it with gold because they didn't want to make something perfect. Only God was perfect. And so they always made it incorrect. But when they made this money, they made it perfect and they couldn't tell. So they had to make a mistake on purpose so they could tell what was real and what was not, So the same way is this, that I forgot my point. I go off on these tangents.
So if this is all a holodeck and you and I are, who's experiencing what, and does it really matter?
Right. That's right. That's right.
Who's experiencing what, and does it really matter?
Exactly. Well, let's say that.
So who is this for? Who is this for?
It's control. It's to control the timelines, to control the people. It's for the archons to steal the life force, to control us. If we're getting out of hand and waking up too much people, they switch me to another timeline. They move you. Like you're driving on the freeway, you see those hexagons that you pull up to in the spotlights, but they're not to change the light. I think that they're stargates. They're octagonal. And because I've seen videos where cars are driving on the freeway and then they start disappearing. And then I saw one video where the cars were disappearing. And then I saw on the freeway, they had those octagon symbols, just like the ones at the stoplights. And I was like, oh my God, it's a Stargate. They're switching people. They're zipping them. They're switching them into another one. And so, because I'm not in the same timeline with my wife that I married, and my dad is a different dad. And I know it sounds crazy, but my dad was a captain of a soccer team, and he was the president of the ski club, and he was a leader of his gang, and then he denies any of this. He denies being. He taught me soccer. He wanted me to be the center. I didn't like soccer. I think I liked baseball at the time, but so I was like halfback and fullback and right wing and left wing. But he wanted me to be center. And I even was goalie. But that I know for fact, that I'm in another timeline and things are different here. And that's what I love about Mandela Effect, is because it teaches us that we're not in Kansas anymore, and there's something going on, and people are just too zombie to figure it out. But when I played Monopoly, Mr. Moneybags had a monocle, and he doesn't have a monocle in this timeline. In art history, I was a calligrapher, and we had, for one of our assignments, we had to pick our favorite candy bar and just make a painting of it. And I liked Kit Kat at the time, so it was like a Persian candy that I used to like. And so I had to learn how to draw the hyphen, and now it doesn't have a hyphen, and it never did in this timeline. Milk Duds was my favorite candy I bought, in the movie theaters, also Junior Mints, but Milk Duds had a hyphen, and now it doesn't. And then the hyphen in Coca-Cola is too high. It's really high up, and we had it low. I remember it was low, and because we had Coca-Cola in Iran, and actually we had the cocaine Coca-Cola with the cork lids and the cocaine in the cap, So I don't know how old those were, but
okay. Back up to Milk Duds. There is
Milk Duds hyphen.
There's no hyphen.
There is a hyphen on Milk Duds for me.
Well, for some reason, I was visualizing a hyphen when you said that, and I'm looking at it right now. There is no hyphen.
You were getting my brainwaves, and there was a hyphen.
And you said Kit Kat too. No hyphen?
Kit Kat, no. There's a hyphen in Kit Kat for me, and there's a hyphen in Milk Duds. I ate them as a kid. I loved them. I knew how to spell it. I knew how to they had a hyphen.
Right.
And they were my favorite ones. But now they've never had a hyphen. Oscar Mayer, Oscar Mayer. Mayer, Meyer. The song is the same each way. But in this case, in this story, they say that they changed it to So that's kind of, I don't know, that's weird. I think they were trying to just hide the fact. But there are thousands of examples different. Movie lines. I was trying to explain to my ex-wife how her favorite movie is Silence of the Lambs. And she's seen that movie so many times, and she was saying, Eric, you're crazy. You know, Eric, she never watched me speak. She never watches my YouTube videos. She thinks everything I talk about is crazy. I said, well, if you think I'm crazy, they don't say hello, Clarice anymore. They used to say hello, Clarice, and that was the first time when Tatum O'Neal walked in. She would, that was the first time before he even saw her. He
Jodie
smelled
Foster,
her and he knew it was. Yeah, Jodie Foster. That's right. Not Tatum O'Neal.
I thought you were switching a timeline there, and
yeah, you know
a
what?
different character.
That is weird. I met them both. I met them both at the same time, so that I throw that off. They were together when I met them, so it kind of threw me off.
But you're saying that dialogue changed.
But that dialogue changed. The movie, it doesn't say that in the movie. Hello, Clarice.
I thought it does say that. It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that in
What's
this
it say?
timeline. You're from another timeline too. And then I was trying to explain it to my dad, who doesn't even go online, and he doesn't. How am I going to explain it to him? So I said, Dad, didn't you go to the Statue of Liberty? He says, yeah. I said, well, what island is it on, Dad? He goes, Ellis Island. And I laughed. I said, it is on Ellis Island in my timeline, Dad.
It's a common mistake.
But it's not in this one. And he said, what? He said, you're crazy, Eric. I said, I don't know how you're going to find out, Dad, but don't tell anybody that you went to Ellis Island, because they're going to think you're crazy, because it's on Liberty Island and it's in New Jersey, not in New York Harbor. Right. And he said, you're crazy, Eric. No way. I said, well, I'm telling you, Dad, I'm trying to explain the Mandela Effect. We're in another timeline where things are different here, Dad. And I said, Dad, didn't you climb inside? He goes, yeah, I climbed inside with my friends. He said, you can ask my friends. I said, no, you didn't. Not in this timeline. You can't, because there was a riot. There was a terrorist act 100 years ago, and it weakened the structure. Nobody's been able to climb inside. So we're in another timeline, Dad, and you figure that out for yourself. You know, I said, I'm tired of, I can't, go out of my way. You can't force anybody to think anything. And all you can do is just give them space to, see what you're saying and hopefully, come to the same realizations. But there's a lot going on here, and people are zombies, and just, they watch sports media and they think that the game is really real, and they're putting money on it. And, when it's all entertainment and everybody's paid the same, and they tell the winners decided ahead of time. Okay. I hate to say it, but the winners decided ahead of time, and it's fixed. The basketball games are fixed. All the sports games are fixed. The only games I don't think that can be fixed are that I've really given this thought to are like golf, maybe, and tennis, maybe.
Golf and tennis are real.
And that's what I took, and that's why I took golf and tennis in high school, because those were the games you couldn't really mess with.
So why are the other games fixed? What's the point?
Well, exactly. What's the point? It's entertainment. That's what I say. What's the point? Why watch it?
Is it fixed for gambling, or just is it for another reason?
It is. Bingo. It's the mafia controls the gambling and the money. It's about money. Gambling ruined all sports. That's what my dad taught me. That's one of the few
who's
things
the
my
mafia? I mean, do you subscribe to the
banksters,
Illuminati?
The banksters, the 13 families that were making the shekel and the temple. They were the evil Amun cult, the Amun priests, where we get amen in church,
Right.
Because really the cosmic vibration is Om. It's Om, not Amen. Amun Ra and all that. But there's good and bad everywhere, and there's not everybody is evil. And I can tell you personally that, I know family members that say that, that they have to protect their money and that we're not like them. And, that's what they say. And, we have to go along with what they're doing. Otherwise they'll kill us or, this or that. It's like, at what point do you want to speak up? What point do you say I've had enough? And what point do you say, it's the banksters, man? Can't you see? Follow the money. I mean, we think we have money, but it's paper. It costs $238 to print $101 bills, but they can print $100 bills. It's the same. They're not getting it out of anywhere. And they just make a number up, and it's not in the bank. Banks are just, it's all hocus pocus, It's not. It's the banks, it's the banking system. It's the families that you've grown to know, and it's the same people. They change the name and hide under corporations. And because we think we're a country, and we're not. We're a corporation. We're called Earth Inc., and we're on the stock exchange. And you have to look at three places. I'm the one who told Deborah Tavares about this, and she told her daughter and told her team, and they looked it up, and then sure enough, she cried and said it was true. But she has taken it way beyond anything that I have. I love her. She's a master of. I want to guide people to stopthecrime.net to her website, and she just upgraded where it's /WB, but you'll be guided there anyway. And figure it out. But stopthecrime.net has all the government links, because you have to learn about what they say. There's an article there I'd like you to look at, or a video called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And basically it was a CIA document that was accidentally found in a printer, that somebody got rid of, and then they checked it out, and sure enough, it was real, and it's been, and then they released it, and they think, it was important to release it. But there's a lot of links on her website, and she talks a lot about 5G also, the fifth generation. But what I love about her is she stays on topic, and she doesn't get crazy like me and my friends that I about UFOs and the Phoenicians, and
there's a lot of things to be excited about.
Well, there are a lot of things, but I have to commend her that she's really wonderful, and she took it much further. She did much better research with her team than I did in following. I just knew that my teachers were pulling me aside and telling me, what was up, that it was true what I was asking in class, but they couldn't answer me, in front of the class. They didn't want to get in trouble, with the principal and the school. So, when the same teachers or the same, when all these different teachers keep telling me the same thing, and then I met Jordan Maxwell, and he put it together perfectly. And because I lived in Santa Monica, and I knew him, and he invited me over, and he explained it to me perfectly, and I understood that how things are run. And so you want to look at the Emergency Banking Act, the Rule of Necessity, or the War Powers Act, and all three of those places in the congressional records will tell you that we've been bankrupt since March 9th, 1933, and we have to perpetuate war every 2 years to update this to keep it going. So that means that we have no constitution, no Bill of Rights, and we're under martial law, and it's military rule, and they make executive orders is what they do. They don't have to go to Congress. They don't listen to Congress, okay? They don't have to pass anything in Congress, and this, and it's all hocus pocus. There's no voting. It's all, there's no election. It's a selection. They pick the winner ahead. And, I said that the Jesuits were going to, that they picked Trump to win. And everybody thought I was crazy because, Hillary was the projected winner and she was way ahead. And I said, well, it doesn't work that way. And I said, plus it's a crime for, her email crimes alone would not allow her to hold an office, and sure enough, so, and it's interesting. I think he's the last president. And I think that, I don't know who's, I think we should know people by their actions, and I'm just hoping, but I don't want to hope too much. And I wish people, good luck. And I hope people are inspired by what I'm saying to look into, and don't give up, and know that you're a divine being of light, that you're really spirit, that you can overcome all of this, that they don't want you to know how powerful you are. That's why there's a transhuman agenda trying to change you into a non-human. That's why they want to change your DNA, because if we're waking up too fast, we're waking up too fast and realizing that through meditation and, before just smoking pot would deprogram you. But now we have GMO weed from George Soros, Bayer, and Monsanto that doesn't program you. And so, that's why it's legalizing everywhere. And they want you to buy that weed. They signed this Frankendope deal in Uruguay. And so you have to be careful. You have to know. You have to grow your own from seed. But, the times are now that really we don't need it anymore. We are vibrating. The Schumann resonance is off the scale. The Schumann resonance, the Earth rings like a bell. Usually it's 7.83. But it's going up. It's been up to like 90, 80, 90, and even up to 1,000. Just crazy. And that something is happening. That something is changing. The magnetic fields are changing, and I'm getting clearer. I'm hearing things happen before they happen. I know who's calling me more. Usually, I've been doing that all my life anyway, but it's more clear now. And if I don't listen to the voice, and I brush it off, it lets me know, just like you and everyone else. You have to listen to that higher voice, because it's you. It's your higher self telling you, because we're being manipulated here, and we better wake up fast. And I really feel we all made a promise millions of years ago to come back here and now to help with this, and it's a very special time, and I'm very happy to be here and now, because it's going down. In our lifetime, everything's going down. We're going to see some grand changes on a biblical scale. And, we got a lot coming up, like a currency reset and a society reset. They've been resetting society, and history is a lie. Everything is a lie. Everything we know is a lie. That's what the CIA said, that they wanted, they did their job when everything people knew was a lie. So we have to look deeper and question everything, and ask our higher self. You can muscle test for anything. It really works. It's really amazing. You push down on your arms, or some people fall forward or fall backwards to see, or push their arms down or up, or if it goes down. And it's a real great way to ask because your higher self, the cosmic mind, knows everything. We just have to start meditating and stop watching TV and checking. When I walk, I just have to chuckle always, because I see people walking around with their face in their phone, just like that Disney movie WALL-E on that cruise ship that was circling Earth.
Yeah.
They have their faces in the phone, and they're not looking up. And I saw a cute girl in her car, and she had her face in the phone. I was thinking, gee, her engine's running, and she's just sitting there on her phone in the parking space, not really aware, or just she was there for a while, because I came home for lunch. I went in, and then when I was leaving, she was still there. I was like, what? Crazy. I guess she spent her lunch there or something, but
I think we spend an unusual amount of time on the phone. So what's the solution to that?
It tells us. Well, there's a setting on the phone that when you see the usage, you can say, it tells you, it asks you if you want to set an alarm when you're spending too much time on the phone, and it goes off and it tells you. So you can set that, but put the phone down, put it away. Nobody read the cell phone book. Nobody read the book that came with it. You're supposed to keep it away. How are you supposed to keep it away from your body when you're carrying it? People are putting in their bras, and I was on Mercola.com. I was like a lion. I had like many, many contacts. Then I started speaking about really what pissed me off was mothers with their iPhones at the head level of the kid in the crib. in their stroller as they're walking, and the kid has a thin skull, and it's creating an autism, and it's creating problems. It's not shielded, their skull. And this was before 5G. This was, we've been using 5G for military, and
finish that thought. I got a really good question.
Yeah. I got basically kicked off for saying that, because the phone industry, the telecommunications is more powerful than the pharmaceutical industry, and I was kicked off the Mercola.com website, as the little social media hangout place. So, and I had to start over. Like they zeroed out all my contacts because I was saying something so powerful and it's Chicago there. And I guess the people it's not, Dr. Mercola is a great guy, but the people who tell him what to do, those were the ones who did it. I mean, he didn't know anything about it, I'm sure. He's a nice guy, and he came and spoke at our conference once. But what was your question?
We were talking about things that 5G, unhealthy. What are 5 things that we deal with every day that we either hold on our hand, we ingest, we smell, we interact with? What are 5 things that we need to completely stay away from to better our lives? And I'm talking about toxicity.
Yes, I had my smart meter removed. Okay, my ex-wife had it put back. And I got so pissed. I said, I'm moving out. I'm leaving you. You had your chance. I'm done. Whatever. There's no arguing with you. There's no talking about it. I paid extra to have it removed, and you're putting it back. It's like, then my dad was sick. Doctors couldn't explain what was wrong with him. He had a pacemaker put in. It was screwing up his pacemaker. I went to where he was, when he was moving out, I somehow went around where I usually didn't go. I saw the outside of his wall. There were 16 smart meters outside of his bedroom. And I said, Dad, holy shit. I said, do you know what this is? Do you know what this is doing? This is where you were sleeping. This is what's going on here. Now he's fine. He's somewhere and he's much better. He's away. So get rid of your smart meter. That's number one. Okay. You're going to pay $14 extra a month, but really it's going to be cheaper in the long run, I think, because they're averaging out everybody else's. They're charging more than they should with everyone else's. So really, I think it's cheaper. But you will pay a one-time fee to have it removed, and you'll pay $14 extra every month. But it's worth it. I can sit in my backyard and not worry. And another thing, leave your phone. Start leaving your phone. Start letting your friends know I'm available at this time. I'll be checking my messages at this time. Start leaving your phone. I'm happy when I forget my phone. So leave your phone away from your body. And then there's safe sleeves you can buy, but actually you have to keep them closed when you use it, because people are opening them up and it's actually causing more radiation because it becomes a backboard and it's like amplifying it somehow and shooting more cancer. So people are buying these things thinking it's safe, then they open it up, and I gotta tell them, don't open it up, you're supposed to keep it closed. Or I tell pregnant mothers, please keep your phone away from your baby and away from the stomach, away from your, I say, please don't believe me. Look into this. I care, and I'm willing to take. I'm sorry. Let me stop this. I'm doing a radio interview. Sorry. Bye. So.
There's your phone.
Stay away from the phone. I had to grab my phone. It was away from me, and then turn the screen down. There's a mind control program for black screens, plasma screens on your phone, your computer, and your TV. They control your mind. The FBI has videos on YouTube saying don't watch TV, and it's for these reasons. It's mind control. They can control your mind. This 5G was around a long time ago. One of my customers was Carol Rosen, who was the secretary of Werner von Braun, and she told me that she was just, she was a cute, school teacher, and he liked her legs, and she really didn't know about, all these things. And he said that he would answer questions. He wanted a pretty girl out in front, and she learned a lot. She's an amazing woman, but at the time, he was answering the questions off the stage and putting the answers. She didn't know how he was doing it, but he was putting the voice in her skull. And that's a V2K, voice to skull technology. That's 5G, see. But these millimeter waves are dangerous. And the two frequencies they're using are directly attacking our water and our oxygen molecules. So it's creating this bacteria-friendly environment to make us sick. And we're not drinking enough water, and we do all the things that are wrong that kills our water, like caffeine and nicotine and, alcohol. It all kills your water. So we should be drinking distilled water. And it does strip you of your inorganic minerals, but it leaves the healthy ones alone. And when you drink distilled water, if you're in a bathtub of distilled water and they throw a plugged-in hairdryer in there, you don't get electrocuted. It doesn't conduct electricity. Also, we should be doing moringa. Moringa is a super green food from Africa, and it detoxes radiation. I mentioned chlorella and spirulina. There's many other ones, barley, wheatgrass. I said moringa. There's super green foods that really make your eyes shine, and it really feeds you. It's the food. It's the only food you really need. You don't need. We shouldn't be eating meat, and especially since Fukushima happened, and the Fukushima radiation is harming the cows because it goes in the water and the rain, and so I take a bath in borax, 20 mule team, and it removes the chemtrail, the biofilm that's left by these, see the 5G I was talking earlier about, the nano aluminum. We inhale it and it crosses our blood-brain barrier and it becomes the antenna for the 5G. So it for the voice to skull, so they can control. At Deborah's website, stopthecrime.net. It shows you, there's a DARPA link. It shows you what, how they can manipulate you. Make you horny, make you scared, make you sick. It tells you, you can make you sleepy. And it can put voices in your head. And tell you things. So they've been using these things for a long time against us, and it's the privileged class. They think they're privileged. It's the elites. It's these Illuminati. They're really globalists because they want you to think the world is a globe. The globalism, it only was 500 years ago that these Illuminati Freemasons were saying that it was round. Okay. Because all the ancient maps that I've looked at, it's flat, and you have many maps, thousands of years, and then the one we use to navigate, the Gleason map, is the planisphere. They use it to navigate, and the United Nations flag is exactly the flat Earth map. Really, it's easy. Just think of a record player, and the hole in the middle is the North Pole, and the South Pole is all around the perimeter. So we're surrounded by Antarctica. There's no Antarctica continent like they say, because if you look at the navigators, it took them 3 years to navigate the South Pole, but it took them a short time to do the North Pole. It's because it's flat. It goes out flat, like water is sea level, So we're surrounded by this Antarctica, and it's a 200-foot wall of ice, just like in the Game of Thrones. I'm buying the Game of Thrones and the Goodwill, trying to find seasons, and I watched the first 2 seasons, and it's awesome. They're saying it like it is, and it's really amazing. And so, these writers are given, when I studied fine arts at UCLA, I was studying producing and directing for film and television also, and they were telling me that my scripts had to be approved by the CIA before I could make anything. And I said, what? And so I said, well, I'm an independent now. I guess I'm an independent filmmaker now then, because I wasn't up for that. And I don't like to be censored. I don't like to be chopped up and told not to say, this or that. So who's really controlling everything, and what were they before? You want to look at the Tavistock Institute. Look at the Tavistock Institute, and you see how everything flowered out from there. And who's really, because we're really a colony, and all our taxes go to the International Monetary Fund. And the Queen is at the Crown. It's called the City of London, but it's not in England. Just like the Vatican is not in Italy, it's its own country. Just like Washington D.C. is in the District of Columbia, it's not in America. So when they ask you, "Are you a citizen?" you're really saying that they're fooling us into thinking we're a corporation and we're registering in the District of Columbia so they can tax us. And really, you don't need a driver's license to drive, and you need to file your taxes, but you don't need to pay. I pay. I play the game. I do everything. I play the game, whatever they do. But I know the truth that you don't have to. That you can. All you have to do is just file. And I met many different. I meet all these speakers and I hear all these different viewpoints, and then I learn. I learn a lot. Just going to conferences and getting out there. So yeah, there's so much to know. And,
you touched on
the
millimeter waves of 5G, and we're going to talk about 5G a little bit.
Those were two. Those were several things I think we should do that were good. And the millimeter waves are, they're lower and higher frequencies. They need many more antennas. They don't travel as far as the cell phone towers. So they got to put up these antennas like every 800 feet. They say 1,000, but really I think it's 800. And so we're getting bombarded not with just one direction, but from all directions. And it's trying to make we're going to be bombarded with all these different directions with all these different waves, and it's a microwave. And it's
so is the intention of 5G is it communication only, or are there nefarious reasons and
no it's genocide. It's genocide. They're trying to kill us. Okay, I don't mean to sound crazy, but if you listen to Barry Trower on the cooking of humanity, they use this for torture on prisoners. They use these waves. They're direct energy weapons that they use on people, and it's like the phaser. You put it on stun, you put it on to kill. You change the frequency, and it's again V2K and the millimeters. They can make you hot. They can make your skin burn. It penetrates your skin. It feels like you're on fire. And they used it for crowd control. They said they're non-lethal. But yeah, it doesn't kill you right away. But, it's going to give you cancer and give you, that's why I'm doing all these different things that detox and I hesitate telling you all the things I do. I mean, it sounds too crazy. My friends are embarrassed for me.
Give me an example and let me decide if you're crazy or not.
Well, first of all, detoxing radiation. What are we doing to detox radiation?
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Well, let me give you two excellent ways.
Okay.
One of them is oil pulling. Oil pulling is excellent. You put coconut oil in your mouth, for a tablespoon of coconut oil, and you swish it in your mouth, and you're supposed to do it for 15 to 20 minutes, but I get tired and I start drooling and on myself. So I do it for 5 minutes. I spit it out and I get a fresh tablespoon. And that way, it's like taking the nails off a magnet. So you're getting more out. Okay. There's 3 miles of tunnels in each tooth, 3 miles of bacteria, which is a lipid base. And it magnetically draws it out into the coconut oil when you swish it in your mouth. So you want to floss first so it gets everywhere. And you want to do it first thing in the morning and even before you go to bed at night. And you're going to notice that you're going to start to shine. Your skin's going to be clear. You're going to reverse cavities. Your gum line you're going to go from deep 4s and 5s to 2s and 3s. Your dentist is going to ask you, what the hell you're doing? Your girlfriend's going to say, wow. Your wife's going to say, wow. Everyone's going to say, wow. And and it detoxes. Heart disease is number one, and it really affects us. We're ingesting all this poison all day, so that's one of the ways to detox radiation. What I hesitate to talk about is urine therapy. I got in trouble at work. I work
urine therapy, as in urine
therapy,
pee,
as in your piss, your pee.
Yeah.
Okay. They said
I've heard of that.
They attacked me at work, and they say I'm sexually harassing and this and that, and no.
Because you're talking about pee.
I'm talking about urine therapy, and I never suggested anybody do anything. I just said some girl used it to clear her problem, so it was like a suggestion. I never told anybody to do anything because I'm very careful. I'm a public speaker, and I know that I don't practice medicine. I just share cures. I don't practice medicine without a license, and I'm not a doctor, and I have to give these disclaimers. And anyway, it turns out the stem cells in urea are the key to this cutting edge technology of stem cell research. They have a stem cell paste that you can put on your cut off finger that will regrow your finger. They have, in Mexico, I guess you can go now and regrow your teeth. You can regrow your teeth and your adult teeth. You can regrow anything. You can grow new parts. And see, it also detoxes radiation. That was using it topically. I was talking about. When you drink it, like Jesus talked about, when you drink from your own fountain. Jesus sat by the well and he spoke about drinking from your own fountain because he was a Buddhist priest and he was practicing Shivambu. And Shivambu is drinking your first urine. The first urine is rich in stem cells. The older you get, the less stem cells you have. That's why when you watch the Antique Roadshow and they have those silver punch bowl sets, there's a girl peeing in one and a guy peeing in another one. Well, those are really to hold the urine and the silver. And at parties, they would have the kids, they would collect the children's piss, put the male and the male, the female and the female, because you're supposed to stay in your sex. And the kids have rich stem cells, and it would keep them young. And
where did this happen? Where and when?
This will happen in Tartaria in ancient times with all the silver sets that you see that are being sold and the fountains that have kids peeing in them. There's you see all the fountains and the art that's left of the kids always peeing in something. The first time I learned about using it topically was when I had a French girlfriend. She got bitten by jellyfish. We were in a private beach in Hawaii, and she told me to pee on her leg. She was in pain, and she couldn't pee on herself, she said. And so I had to, and I watched her face get relieved. She got bitten in her foot, but I watched her emotions change drastically immediately. Yeah. So I don't want to create another situation here. So there's a Dr. Brzezinski in Austin, Texas, and he uses anti-neoplastoms that he gets from these companies. The porta potties have a piss pot on the side with a filter, and they're filtering out everybody's urine of the stem cells. And then they take the disc and they sell it to beauty manufacturer companies for thousands of dollars. And they put them in creams to have stem cells in your beauty creams. And so we use it without realizing it. We use it, we do worse. There's PK flavor enhancement, which is chopped up fetus from abortions, and they put that in the hamburger, 90% of fast food burgers. So this is for the reptilians to hold their form so they can shape shift. I know I'm getting crazy on you.
They're fast. The reptilians are fast food eaters primarily.
They're grabbing a quick burger so they can hold their form, okay? Because I've seen them shift. I've seen scales on their face. I've seen their eyes turn to slits, and I go like, holy shit, you're a dragon. And then we smile, and my hair goes up on my arm, and you can see their tongue come out just like a lizard, their tongue comes out, darts out and in, You can tell their mannerisms. And there's a reptilian race. They think that this is their planet, and they can terraform it and making it the way they like, radioactive and dry. That's the way reptiles like it. And they can handle higher radiation. See, it doesn't affect them like us. So I think we're all actually part reptilian, but there are a lot more, okay? So, but our genes were tinkered with, and we have that proof in our DNA. Our genes were tinkered with the RH monkey genes. The rhesus monkey, RHESUS, was spliced into our second and third chromosomes. And this is what made us the way we are now. And we're a combination of, I hear, many different aliens, and that's why they value our organs. There was a Greada Treaty signed, I think it was under the Eisenhower administration, that allows the gray reptilians to come and harvest organs from humans, all the people that are missing, millions of people every year. And they're harvesting organs, and they're when we find cows that are taken, they're looking to see how much of their sexual reproductive system has been affected, because it's very similar to the human one. And that way they know how much, it's like checking the dipstick to them to see how far we've poisoned ourselves with the Fukushima radiation. And we've been blowing. In 1962, we were shooting missiles up trying to break that glass dome firmament. You look at Operation Fishbowl firmament, and we were shooting missiles, and it's all up there, that radioactivity. And then we had Fukushima.
Trying to break what?
And it's trying to break the glass dome, live under a dome, a firmament that holds back the waters in space. There's a glass dome, just like a fishbowl. That's why they always use a fishbowl, like in Dr. Seuss, there's always a fish, or we have globe, the globe, snow globes. It's just reversed. The water's on the outside to hold the water back. And then there's all these videos on YouTube. A lot of rockets hitting the dome, and you can watch them and it goes click, and it stops, and you can hear it, and it stops, and you see it, and you see the flat plane in the distance, and see, it always rises to your eye view too. See, if you go up in a balloon and you look at the edge, you look at the horizon, it's supposed to drop as you go, the higher you go, if it was round, but it's not. It keeps raising to your eye level, which means it's an infinite flat plane. It's like the movie Tron. It's infinite, and it's a computer. It's infinite. And then they have a dome. You stop when you hit the edge of the dome. We're all stuck under the dome together. They had a TV show. I never saw it, but it was called Under the Dome. I should watch those, see what they say. But I mean, it's obvious. It was the firmament, and it's in. When you hear a plane in the sky, you're not hearing that plane. You're hearing the echo off the dome, and you'll figure it out, because if you were hearing the plane, you'd hear it right away. But you're not. You're hearing the echo off the dome. And it's like a directional speaker. It bounces and goes. See, I'm an audiophile, and I know how to play speakers and direct sound. And it's exactly what's going on when you see the plane. And if you think about it, it's bouncing off the dome, and it's shooting at you. And that's where you are. And it's changing. And the plane has to pass before you hear it, because then it goes and hits the dome, and then it comes back to you. So,
where did the dome come from?
Don't believe me. Figure it out for yourself. There was a system. There was a system in place. Where do we come from? Is the question. We were put into the system. It's a program that we're in. It's a I don't know what it is. They try to break it. They can't break it, and no one can go beyond it. When they do go beyond it, you have to have the right frequency vibration. Okay. That's why we have to raise our frequency vibration. To go through it, you have to have a different frequency, a higher frequency vibration. You have to vibrate a finer frequency of love and compassion. And then you go through the wall. See, we can float through walls, but we don't know how. We have to vibrate a finer frequency. It's just magic to the people who don't understand how it works. but but I've seen some crazy things, like you said. Growing up, I was always looking for the flying rug, and I saw mystics levitate, and I saw them materialize objects in the air. And it was outdoors where there were no trees or buildings or strings to lower anything. Okay, and definitely we have a lot. We have to meditate, and we have to wake ourselves up. Or I have to meditate more, and I have to wake myself up. I don't want to tell anybody else what to do. I want to inspire them to look into any of these things I'm talking about.
How about as a group, though?
About all these crazy things?
How about as a group, though? I mean, individually, yes, we can do what we need to survive, but what do we do as a group to survive as humans?
Well, the best thing I can say is look at what I'm talking about on Eric the Healer page. I don't know why it's so hard to get likes on my page. Well, it's a program. They shut me down. They try to filter me, because I've seen people right in front of me try to like my page, and they couldn't. It kept bouncing back, and it kept changing, and it wouldn't take it, And they're showing me this. They're going, look, I'm trying, and I can't. And so I know I'm being messed with, and that's a good sign. It means I'm on the right track, okay? It means I'm asking the right questions, and I'm doing the right thing. And I don't mind putting myself out there. I had a near-death experience. I'm not scared to die, okay? And I'm a divine spirit. We are. And you will always be awake somewhere and know what's going on. You'll always have consciousness, which is what really quiet the mind and meditate. So what's going on? And who's doing this? Why? Well, the best thing I can do is say, look at the stuff and tell two friends. Learn about it and share it with people. Look at go to Deborah Tavares and realize that at stopthecrime.net that nothing is what it seems, and then come to the great crazy stuff over with me and see how it really is out there, and how I don't know how it really is, but my friends, all have a little piece of the puzzle, and I think Carrie Cassidy is awesome, and I think that she has probably the best thing going on, the Project Camelot and talking to the super soldiers, and it's all compartmentalized. I mean, even they don't, I'm trying to convince them that it's flat, because they see around, they're in the planisphere and they're in a program and they're flying around and they don't see what it is. And I try to show, that look what we use. Look at why would they make an expensive watch with a flat Earth map on it? Why would they make an expensive, watch and use the flat Earth maps? Okay, look at the really expensive watches and see when they use a map what kind of map it really is. Okay, these are the rich people know. Okay, the rich people know. It's the higher class that knows, and they have to keep quiet because they don't want to work. They don't want to be in the lower class in the slave race. We're all slaves to the banks. Okay, what happens if you don't pay your mortgage? You don't pay the taxes. We're all caught in a trap. We don't we think we're free, but we're far from it. And everybody's taking a selfie, and they're not really looking at their higher self. They're just
that's a good
taking
quote.
A selfie and have this. Yeah, they're having they're just having a picture in their head. They're I'm famous now. Look at me. It's like, wow. I have to laugh. I have a bird. I have a cockatiel. I have like some 20-something mirrors in there. He loves to look at himself, and he whistles and he turns his head. And it's so funny. One of the ladies I met that I really respect, she was making my friend Brian Besco makes tools that protect you at twistedsage.com. You can wear these copper that creates a field, a torus, and cleanses you and protects you. And there's technology you can get, questioning it, because it was a message from her for me to be, I guess, that there was a stupid bird and that I was to go inside and think more about these things, So it's interesting because there's a peacock running around my neighborhood now, and I've been thinking about it. So, but maybe who knows what kind of sign it was. But I'm trying to always be humble and willing to change what I know and admit I'm wrong and learn a new way, a faster, more efficient way. And these are the things I've come up with, and it's open for discussion. And these are all sound crazy things, but this is what I found, and people can verify it. I don't want to say something stupid on stage, and I don't mind saying crazy things. It sounds funny, but we were talking about the 5 things you could do that really make a difference, and one of the things is just giving people space and relaxing. Try not to be so attacking people, and give them space to evolve. Don't consider them hopeless, like I said before, because if we don't give them the space to evolve, they don't become better. And we might be incorrect. Who knows? Who are we to say, what to do or what, and so, it's important to not invade people, have respect for everything, life and compassion. Have compassion and love everyone, because when you're at that frequency vibration, you don't lower your vibration with these, fighting. It screws up your vagus nerve, and it puts you in a fight or flight, and it changes your hormones, and it kills you. It speeds up aging and causes death, and it's very stressful. And this 5G likes to put you in these situations, and then on the ether, in the etheric plane, or in the other dimensions, there are these aliens that are, in a different, looking down and like taking the energy and taking the life force, because they're pissing you off on purpose. You think you're mad because you're mad, and it's up to you, but you've been triggered. We're being triggered. So when we do less stimulants, I don't drink coffee, I don't do soda, I don't do, I say soda, and coffee is just, I'm already full of energy and I don't need it. My friends hate that I'm chipper in the morning, and I don't need coffee, but they can't go to the bathroom without it, and they'll get a headache if they don't have it. And then the third day, their headache disappears if they don't have coffee. Then it's out of your system. So try to get everything out of your system, Do as I say, not as I do, because I'm still eating sugar. We shouldn't be eating. I still eat wheat, flour. I shouldn't. These are things that really screw us up. This bread. We have to eat healthy bread that doesn't have gluten and doesn't have wheat flour, because sugar and wheat flour are really screwing us up. And then when you throw in the sweeteners, the corn syrup sweeteners, because the most genetically modified things are corn, wheat, and soy. So when you have a corn syrup sweetener, it's ripping holes in your gut. And then when you have something that's non-organic, they're spraying Roundup on it. The glyphosate is an industrial cleanser that's going in and creating holes in your microbiome, in your shikimate barrier, in your lining. So you're losing serotonin, dopamine, not getting that high from serotonin, not getting that dope.
But it tastes so incredibly good, don't you think?
Pardon me?
I'm saying it tastes so incredibly good, though. All those things taste so good. It only
tastes good when it only seems
especially
like
in that combination.
Because it's tricky. Yeah, but they're created in a lab to make it seem like it's tasting good. But later, it's a bad taste in your mouth, and it screws up your body.
It does screw up the body.
If you want a good taste, it screws up your body. It screws up your body by ripping. See,
I concur with that for sure. It does screw up your body. I'm a diabetic, and it's probably because of that.
It is
because of that. Type 2.
Because you can reverse it too.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
There's vanilla.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
Well, urine therapy is another way I've heard people are doing it, and there's a lot of.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm not a doctor. Yeah, exactly.
I'll research that one. thoroughly.
It took me a long time, okay? But let me tell you, when I was kickboxing and I was injured and I had to heal a cut, I was peeing on my Band-Aid and putting it on and keeping it moist because I needed to close that wound and create new skin because I had a fight the next day. And it works. And it works. And it takes the pain out. You know, you pee in the washcloth, you put it on the sore part in the bathtub, and it works. You put it in your hair, it keeps the gray out. You let it go in your eyes. You're supposed to dilute it in the eyes, but I put it straight because
you're tough.
It really,
you're kickboxing.
Well, because I want it full strength. I want it full strength. I want my vision. And you know what's really funny is there's a link between our gut and our eyesight. Because we're screwing up our gut, it's screwing up our eyesight. That's that gut instinct. See, when you have a gut instinct, you see clearly what's going on, and that's why they say that. And so we're screwing up our eyesight, and my eyesight's getting screwed up, and they want me to get glasses, and so I know I have to pay attention to my gut. And so I learned the hard way by, because I love donuts. I want a donut. I love donuts, but
I love donuts.
It has GMO oils.
Yeah.
You want to be a millionaire? Make organic donuts and make it by a state building. That's how you get to be rich.
And gluten-free as well.
Gluten-free, organic. Use the almond powder, the almond meal, and see all these different things. They change us and they screw us up. Everybody has gut problems. They don't realize it, and they're eating meat that is disease because you have concentrated animal feedlots, and people don't realize their fibromyalgia and their pains is from eating diseased meat that wasn't organic, wasn't grown nicely, and it has the glyphosate and then there's so many things going on. It screws us up.
Yeah. So
we have
Eric, we're slowly coming to a close, and here's what I'd like you to do.
Yeah.
Tonight I want to give you the final word, and I want you to tell me what one thing would you like us to take away from this conversation tonight that'll benefit each of us, all of us.
The best thing I can say is keep in touch. Like my page, keep in touch, because I'm doing all the work and sharing links and what I think. All you have to do is just see what you want to look at and check into it, because I promise you, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, and then you get hooked, and then it becomes your coffee. It becomes my drug. I am so addicted to Flat Earth British and Tartaria and health and nutrition and Deborah Tavares and Carrie Cassidy. I just can't get enough of all of them, because they keep putting it out there. You got to listen to Barry Trower. The one thing is me, because I'm E, all the above, and so I don't want to just say one thing. I want to say everything. It's hard.
It's hard. All right. Eric the Healer Dadmehr, thank you so much.
Thank you again.
My Alien Life Podcast.
You can find my website at www.myalienlifepodcast.com, and please subscribe to my latest downloads at iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and at podbean.com. And please follow me and like me on Facebook and Twitter. My Alien Life is written and produced for broadcast at Studio 254 in the Northern Rocky Mountains. The music you are hearing is produced and created by Elion. You can find all Elion's work online at Heart Dance Records.